I'm Bradley Worth of All Saints Episcopal Church in Whitefish, Columbia Falls. We like to think of this place, McDonald Lake in Glacier Park, as our backyard. Actually, where I'm standing is about 15 miles east as the crow flies from All Saints. But I'm here because it's the perfect place to talk about the church season of Lent. Lent is a time of reflection and repentance, which means we try and become aware of that which gets in the way of our relationships with our Creator, one another, this earth we call home, and with who we really are, the apple of God's eye and the subject of God's uncompromising love. This being aware of those moments of alienation and separation in our lives, the true meaning of the word sin, can, however, be pretty tough on us. But repentance also involves turning away from that which confounds us and traveling again in a direction and journey which is focused on Christ. And that can be as refreshing as the beautiful scenery of Glacier National Park. Appreciating the loveliness of Glacier Park is reflective of Lenten disciplines such as daily prayer and Bible reading, giving attention to repairing torn friendships, becoming more aware of the abundance of the blessings of God, giving to causes inside and outside the church that do the work of Jesus in our time, and returning to church if one has been away. All of these lend themselves to rediscovering the vibrancy of Christ, which permeates every aspect of our life. So Lent can be filled with joy, but we can miss that joy if we don't include also seeing the season in terms of our having been lost and then finding the way home. One of our parishioners at All Saints Church is Glacier National Park Ranger Bill Schustrom. Bill has been serving in the park for over 4 decades and is devoted to the preservation and celebration of every square inch of this extraordinary place. And while doing that, he's had countless memorable experiences, with one in particular that speaks to how profound Lent can be if, again, we think of repentance as turning around and finding the way home.
As a longtime Glacier Park Ranger, 42 years in fact, I've had the opportunity to travel just about all, but not all, of the trails in Glacier National Park. And the story I'd like to tell you this afternoon is one that occurred just on the other side of the mountains that are behind me. A friend of mine and I decided we wanted to hike into the Pegan Pass area. We started at Sai Bend, just off the Going to the Sun Road, climbing up to the pass. It was an absolutely beautiful day. It could not have been any better. Sunshine, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. But as we moved over the pass and started coming down on the other side, all of a sudden it changed dramatically. A lot of cloud cover. We could hear thunder and lightning in the distance. And within just minutes, it seemed like the sky opened up. And I've seen a lot of storms in Glacier Park, but this is one that was for the books. The water was coming down so hard that the trails actually became streams. And as we came to one point in the trail where I could have gone right and onto Josephine Lake and eventually into the Mini Glacier Hotel area, I looked at the sign and I turned the other way because of the weather, I'm sure. But I got unbelievably lost, and the wind was blowing. It was terribly, terribly cold, and I ended up a mile from that point where I should have turned right instead of going left. And luckily, a fella came along and I said, are we on the way to Josephine Lake? He says, no, you're going the wrong way. You're up at Grinnell. So we had to turn around. We came back, made it to the overlook at Josephine Lake, and the weather again was just absolutely awful. There were a lot of people there waiting for the boat, and we decided that we would go ahead and hike out. I was so depressed that I had missed the trail and gone the wrong way with my friend. As we finally hiked out, my faith, I didn't lose any faith in it. I was concerned, but I knew that with the experiences I've had, that I would eventually come back to our starting point, or at least into the Mini Glacier Valley. And that did happen. And a story that could have ended very tragically. With a lot of help, we did make it out, and today I can still talk about that one. It was really frightening and uncomfortable to be lost, and I was never so happy as when I found my way home.
If Lent is about a rediscovery of the way home and of seeing with clarity Christ, if it's about making again the presence of God in our lives vibrant, if it's about reconciliation with folks from whom we've been separated, if it's about celebrating the world around us, like Glacier Park, here in the midst of a little snowstorm, served so admirably by Ranger Schustrom, then the season will be filled with joy. And in that sense, I can wish you a very, very happy Lent. We would love to have you join us at church in worship so that you can help us claim the blessings of the season of Lent. May the love of God overwhelm you.